Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to a midweek video here at CLAldridgeArt. If you are an artist, whether you just enjoy coloring in them, you have come to the right place. I thought that we would continue a project in Colin Thompsons Coloring Book that we started on Sunday's live stream. Now, if you are unfamiliar with this book, it is currently out of print. I'm given to understand that there are some copies available through an Etsy shop. I don't have that link. However, the link was posted in the chat section of my Sunday stream. I don't know if they still have it or not, because I don't know how many they had. The page that actually couldn't show you if you have not yet seen that particular video. This book is based upon artwork that Colin Thompson does that mostly seems to revolve around magical stories and a love of books and libraries. And so each page is just full of absolutely incredible designs. This one is actually called Blue Willow, so you could color it like a blue willow pattern like you would see on China. Anyway, there are lots and lots of flip-throughs of this book. This is the page that we started on Sunday, and this is as much as I've done of it so far. Now, this is done with Derwent Inktints, and I will tell you that every time I thought I was finished with it, I kept coming up with a new little detail that needed coloring in or needed additional color. So this one is absolutely incredible to work on. For those of you who might not know me, my name is Christine Aldridge. I do draw coloring books for a living. I did not, of course, draw this one. My books are available at Amazon. This is, and in my Etsy shop. And this is my newest one, Dragons, Flowers, and Mandalas, Oh My. If you'd like, you could choose to follow me on social media. I'm at Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, always as CLAldridgeArt. In addition, I do have a coloring group. We do limit the posts to coloring of work that I have drawn. However, you are absolutely welcome there. Members do get a special Etsy shop discount on their PDF versions of my books. Also, every drawing that I make is available in individual drawing, and these are just a couple of the newest ones that are in the shop. This one is brand new. This one's been in there for a few weeks. So the type of art that I draw. Anyway, thank you for being here and deciding to spend some time with me. Now, I've been looking at this next building and trying to think of how I wanted to color it. Now, I like the fact that this whole sort of structure in here, by the way, this is, just a really enlarged scene out of one of his libraries, because there are books back in here on shelves. There's a street scene, a night street scene. There's a deep midnight building back here with a balcony and stars and the sky. So literally coloring this is the most amazingly imagination inducing thing. because as you're going along, you're thinking, well, what is that? Well, that's obviously outside, the outside of a building. It's got a tree growing off of it. It's a bridge, and it looks out into the night sky. And if that's the case, then this light must be moonlight. And yet out here, it's daytime. Or is it? We haven't done a sky yet. We don't know if it's daytime or not. Then, of course, up here, don't know if you can see this, but I'll try and get you down a little bit and see if I can get you a little better focus on that. I think that's good. And then, of course, I'll get the little magnifying ball out. This obviously is, oops, let's see if I can get the glare out of it. This is a little ship, and it's in a little coffee cup with flowers on the outside, and there's a book and another book, and then there's water, the ocean water that the boat is floating on, and it's spilling down onto our building. And so as you can see, I colored the bedrooms. I made this a bedroom. That's the sunlight hitting a mirror inside. And let's see here. That is just a piece of wood furniture, because I had to think of things to color in all the windows. So these are these are planters with flowers in them. This one is pink peonies and lavender, and this one over here is yellow flowers of some kind. And there's a horseshoe. Now that is a reflection. It took me a long time to figure out that that is a reflection of the building across the street. So I left it sort of amorphous. And then, of course, here, I'm assuming there'd be like some greenery as well across the street. So I just colored that with just a hint of green. Then, of course, we've got our mail slot and our basement light coming out onto the sidewalk, and our boys here walking by. And I colored their robes in chili red, and then I used just a touch of the golden yellow and then I used tan for the skin tone. And then, of course, I made it a wooden shaft, wooden walking stick with, I don't remember, the saddle brown, I think. But yeah, I'm really, I'm really loving this. And this is some sort of it's not really a clock, it's more like a barometer. And so I colored it in mustard gold with a little bit of baked earth in the Derwent ink tints, and then I think that I may yet hit that with some glitter gel pen, but I haven't quite decided yet. So on this building, I really agonized as to what I wanted to do, because I wanted it to be gray mottled stone, like granite, but not that gray. And so I looked and looked and looked at stone buildings, and I finally decided that I wasn't going to be able to do it in Inktense, but I was going to be able to do what I wanted with the Derwent Graphitints. And the difference between Inktense is that this is literally solid ink pigment, or ink pigment in solid form that you spread on the page and activate with water. The Graphitints are tinted graphite. So like a pencil, only with just a very, very slight hint of color. And so the Graphitints are what I am going to be using for this building. Okay, so I don't know exactly what direction I'm going to go in. I keep wanting to go pinks and purples, but I know that I should probably go browns with so that is my question. So I'm going to start with a cool brown, which is number 15. Now these are the Graphitints, and as you can see, they are a much subtler color laydown than the Inktense, which are back here. So you can see Inktense are very, very pigmented, and the Graphitints are much more subtle. And this is them used lightly, which is how I will use it. And I've been looking at sort of these color schemes of how it would best fit in. And I think that the shadows and the cloud grays with maybe a little bit of aubergine and warm gray are going to work for the best. Now, these do only come in a set of 24, or I say only, but 24 is pretty much all you will need of these. I particularly like these when I'm doing watercolor because I can draw with them, do my sketches, and then when I put my watercolor on, it just disappears. So I think that what we'll do is I'll start with the warm gray. There's just a ton of really beautiful colors here. So maybe I'll start with a shadow. That's Juniper. That's purple. I know I'm going to want that. That's Storm. I know I'm going to want that. That's warm gray. I know I'm going to want that. Might as well. Mountain gray. I'm probably going to want that. Cloud gray. I'm definitely going to want that. And cool gray. Not so much. I know I'm going to want some that is the green gray. Probably going to want a little bit of that, maybe. Maybe not. Well, maybe. I'm looking for shadow, and there it is. Shadow. Okay. So, sorry while I got lost in the pencils there for a second. All right. So I think that what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with shadow, which is a dark color, a darker color. And I'm not using this heavily. I am just letting the weight of the pencil sort of dictate how much is going on. But I'm using it in the shadowy areas, or the areas that are darkest. And let me I think that is still good focus. Let me just double check it. That's a little bit better. Okay. I'd love to be able to get you even closer than that, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. So I'm just adding a little bit. Now, the beauty of the Graphitints is that it is completely water-soluble granite or graphite, which means that I'd be able to lift it off. If I place it and I don't like it, I can lift it off. Now, you cannot do that with the Inktense. Once you place the Inktense, you're sort of stuck with it. So I'm just doing the shadows, and this is a shadowed piece as well, but I don't want to do it until I figure out what is working or not working about this down here. So now these all look very much the same, but they are sort of subtly different, as you can see. And I think in this, subtlety is going to be the name of the game. So that is the Juniper. Now, Juniper is a decidedly purple color, so I'm not going to use it all over. I'm just going to use it here and there. You know what I mean? Just in little bits of space, just at random. And not necessarily all over the entire thing. And, you know, so maybe I'll, you know, use it a little harder on that one. Pull some of it over there. Couple of them in here, because I've got a lot of grays to work with. And you know, rocks or stone, quarried stone is all sorts of different shades. Okay, so then I can go to a, say, a cloud gray. And now it's not going to change this very much because obviously this is a grayscale book. But I can then go to a storm, which is a slightly pinker gray, and do this up here. I may leave some of them in their sort of natural state just to see how that looks, because really I'm just experimenting. I'm just sort of experimenting with this one to see what it will do. I'm not afraid I'm going to mess it up because I know it's graphitin and I can lift it off if I have to. I can change it up if I want to. I can go over it with something darker and it isn't going to hurt a thing because it's really, truly just tinted pencil. Tinted graphite, the same stuff that you write with or that you take your lessons with. Just like a number 2 pencil. So this is the mountain gray, just adding a little bit of color in different spots. Not worrying about, you know, whether or not everything is perfectly balanced color-wise, because these are all sort of natural colored colors, or natural gray colors for stone. And then this one is the warm gray. So maybe I'll do a little bit in that as well. And then maybe migrate my way back to the Juniper, which is the decidedly more purple shade. Not super purple, but a light, dusky sort of shade, which I absolutely love. So now let's see how we did. I am going to want to keep the, grabbing my brush and my water brush. Now, one of the secrets to keeping a water brush flowing well is this is a pressure valve. So I've always found that I have much more control of the water, or the water comes out at a more controlled rate if I keep it full. When it starts to get down to about here, for some reason it starts to flow really fast. But this should be good. So I'm just going to start up here at the top. I'm not really scrubbing, I'm more tapping the little spots, right? Now this is going to be a very, very subtle look. You're not going to see a lot of big color change on this particular use of this particular product because this is rock, and so you want it to, you want to think about it. Now, obviously in your coloring book, if you want your rocks to be a specific color or a tile color, or a, if you want quarried red stone, you can certainly do that. It's your coloring book. You get to decide what the colors are going to be. But I thought that I would try this first to see if I could get sort of a old rock or old quarried stone block look. And then if I mess it up, then I can, decide to paint the building all one color, or, do something different. But this also gives me a chance to experiment with, a vision that I have in my head. It may not be the right vision, but it is, it's there, and I can try it out and see how it works. It could be that I've been way too light with all the colors and I'll need to intensify them. And these are the things that you learn as you work with your tools. And I think that it is important that when you get coloring mediums in, that you do play with them. That is what this hobby is all about. It is about bringing out your inner artist, and I find that for me, the easiest way to do that is to let her play. Just take off the rule book. There's no rule book, just toss it off to the side. And just let's play. That's why kids are always, much happier than adults as a general rule. Is because they play. They don't yet know about all the rules and the million times a day that we hear you can't. All they know is that looks fun. Yeah, see, that is a very subtle effect. I don't, you know, it remains to be seen if I didn't do, you know, I didn't do an awful lot. And now, of course, the reason why I'm doing all of this is because I honestly don't remember where I put it. So I'm just winging it. Winging it through. I want to say a special hi to Melinda. We missed you on Sunday. Hope everything is okay. And I want to say a special thank you to Miss Shara for this beautiful book. I truly love it. Yeah, okay. So you see what I mean about it? It's really subtle. Excuse me. Okay, now through the magic of being able to pause this video, I was able to let this dry, and so this is how it looks dry. It is still a little bit too subtle for my taste, so I think we will go at it again, but this time I want to warm it up just a tad with the cool brown, I think. You'd think that it would be a warm color, but I think the cool brown is the way to go. So, make sure I don't have it. All right. So I want to add just a little bit of this cool brown in here and there. And what that's going to do, hopefully, is serve to warm up at least some of these pieces. Hopefully I'm not messing it up. Especially in here toward the center. And off to this side. A couple reasons. It wouldn't actually be catching a reflection. I don't want to do all of these, just a few. Okay. It wouldn't actually be catching the reflection so much of this building next door, but it might be reflecting some warm light from the building across the street. And then I also think I want to add just a tad of blue. And so I'm going to go with the shadow, I think. Where's the shadow? Is that this color? Yeah. So I'm going to add just a little bit more of the shadow. Just to... And the shadow is decidedly a cool color as well. But and I'm just being, once again, I'm just being Not fussy. But you can layer all day long. You can tweak and play with it and do all sorts of things. This is the Storm, which is sort of this neutral but lighter color. Hard to explain. Hard to explain the Storm color. It's the color of storm clouds. Just add some of that in. Yeah, all right. I think that's a little bit better. And let's see. Now I am, when I go to actually getting it wet again, and I am being, once again, I'm just tapping, being very gentle with the tip of the brush because I don't want to injure the paper. This is not watercolor paper. And for those of you who may be wondering, no, it's not bleeding through anywhere. And I'll prove that to you here in just a moment. Sorry about that. I was reacting to a little bug that's down here on my hand, or below my hand. It's that season, and I had the, even though it's still hot outside, I was in and out of the house a couple times today, and stuff always seems to fly in. Doesn't matter how quickly you get the door closed, something manages to fly in. Hey. Looks like a fruit fly of some kind. Yeah, see, that's a little bit better. Okay. That's a little bit better. That's more like, I want it to look like an aged stone building. Because where the color is going to go in this is in the windows. I'm going to do like stained glass windows. This is, by the way, this is Dr. Palfrey's Leeches Bloodletting While You Wait. Gotta love a man with a sense of humor, right? Colin Thompson seems to have one. He illustrates children's books, by the way. And once again, if his work looks very familiar, it is also on a famous line of jigsaw puzzles. Made by a company called Ravensburger. Okay. So, yeah. So you can see it does look vastly different, but not that much different than its predecessor over there. Now, or than just blank. Now, let me also show you over here on this side, so you can see it does not, neither the Inktense nor that color bleeds through anywhere. And this is good thick paper, so it's not harming the paper in any way either. Sorry. I've got ink tints out. Let me put my ink tints away. Or not away, but not. There we go. So they're not in the way of the coloring book. Okay. Actually, I kind of like that up there like that. Okay. Now I want to do this door. I am going to switch back to the ink tints for that. I want to do my wood door in a wood color, but I also want it to be a rich color. So I'm going to choose some mustard because I always like my mustard. And let's see here. Let's choose I'm going to dark wood. So I'll choose the willow. Although the willow is not a particularly dark wood, if I use it darkly enough, it will be. All right, so I'm putting, excuse me, I'm putting mustard down. Now mustard is decidedly a very pretty gold color. And I am going to use the willow which is brown. I'm not going to cover it up entirely, just maybe down the seams. Okay. All right, and then, once again, I'm not wed to this idea. I can always change it. So I've got a little paper towel or kitchen towel. And so hopefully when that dries, you'll still be able to see the gold through it. And it'll look just like a dark wood. I'm going to do the same thing up here. Even though I haven't yet really done anything, but on a building that would be constructed this way, this would be wood, and you can go right over that grayscale with a brown. Coming in from the sides like that, because keeping in mind that my light source, the sun is up and I've got it shining so that it is shining, so it's all the windows are glowing from sunlight, not necessarily from within, although some of them are glowing from within, like for instance this dog. So, like there's a light on in the house. So I'm just using the dark around like this. I'm not being, I'm really not being super fussy here. Because there's also a wood balustrade here. Balcony. Because there's a tunnel, whoops, sorry. There's a tunnel that goes in there, wherever that goes. This is the mustard again, so this is the gold color. So I want to, in the areas that I made light, I want to use the gold color. Because I can come back and add more brown. But if I lose the sort of golden tone of the wood, I will have lost it altogether. Okay. Now this is going to be a video where we're not going to get a lot done, but hopefully we've discussed enough technique and enough idea about a medium that you could choose to use that's not your pencils or your ink tints, for instance, for you to, maybe if you're not coloring this book, but you do have a book where you want to do stone or something like that. There's lots of ways to do that. This is just one. Yeah. See how that preserves that golden color? And I can really just sort of barely see this, so I'm just sort of slopping it in there where it looks like it fits. Because I can always go back and clean up these shadows with the shadow color or with the gray color. If I don't get this wood exactly right. Right. I like that. Okay. Now I want to make these like bottle green. So I'm going to use probably the I'm going to try the ivy. Once again, now this is a graphitint again. Now I do not have, I'm not so wed to this idea again that I'm just using it very, very lightly. I just want to make this sort of green glass. But not overtly green. More like a hint of green. Like that. And that is so strange. What is that little door for? And that little window. Let's see here. I don't want that one to be green. I want this one to be green. And I'm just being fairly light. This is the Graphitints, so it is the water-soluble graphite. So I could erase it off or get rid of it if I wanted it to, I don't think I can erase it off, but I could certainly lighten it up by just getting it wet again and dabbing it with a cloth. Unlike the Inktense that puts down a permanent color. Okay. Now this one. Bloodletting while you wait. That's interesting. Do I want to make that red glass? I actually kind of do. But I want to avoid the Christmas look. So maybe I'll just do this. This is Poppy Red. These are leeches. Huh. All right. I want to do them all red. I just want to do some of them red. So I'm just doing a line down both sides. Okay. I don't know if this is going to work or not. It's a very tiny area, and this is not a very sharp pencil. I could pull the color directly off the pencil, which would probably be the smarter choice. And then, let's see here, I want gold. Not sun yellow. But actually, you know what? I want mustard gold. Yes. I do. I want mustard gold. I think that'll be pretty. We won't know though until we look at it close up. Once again, worst comes to worst, you can always, although this is Inktense, so I won't be able to change it, but I could always black it out. I can always paint it out, do whatever, but I think it sort of gives an idea. I'm going to do the red first. These are tiny spaces, so you just have to, and my eyesight, as all of you know, is not that great. So just be patient and take your time. Okay, and it'll be fine. So look, no outside the lines. Just tap. I mean, I am literally barely touching. Just a little tiny bit, just to make sure that I get all four corners of each of these little tiny triangular glass panes. Okay. And now I've wiped off the red. Sort of clean out the brush a little bit. And now I'll do the gold. And I'm only touching the gold. And that way, hopefully, it's coming through as, we're going to look at it here in just a second. As red and gold. And I don't think it looks Christmassy. Okay. Oh, I like it. I like it a lot. I mean, it could be all kinds of things. It could be stuff hanging in the window. Looks like blood drops, though. Yes? Blood drops. Bloodletting while you wait. Let's see here. Yeah, just like that. I love this thing, by the way. Yeah, I am so glad that I discovered this for this purpose. I haven't been over to Sammy's in a while to see if she's using hers or not. I hope so. It's because she does those fine little details so beautifully, but I really want to get down there and see them, so half of the reason why I sent that to her is because I was selfishly wanting to see her work close up from her perspective. Okay. I like it. I like it a lot. Now, even though this and this now look kind of the same, this is going to be much darker when I come around to do that particular shadow. So I am not unhappy with the way that this little building is looking. It is a very, I mean, it took a lot of time, and it really is only subtly changed. But I also think that it goes with the atmosphere. All right? So it is substantially different now than this, which is what it looked like. It started out looking like this. And now this bottom portion, at least, looks like this. And I'm not unhappy. I'm not unhappy at all. So we are right at 54 minutes. If I don't cut this down and you know, make it a much less long video, which I may yet do, but yeah. So that's where we are right now. I will come back and we'll do another section of this. Perhaps I'll start that video next. In the meantime, if I have signed off on this one, it is because there'll be a next installment due, or a next installment. And so I'll say thank you to everybody who over the last couple days has been purchasing my drawings, the 2 new ones, out of my Etsy shop. Thank you, thank you. And as ever, thank you to all of you for your kindnesses, your many, many kindnesses in supporting your local artists or your independent artists, whether it's me or another. And until we meet again, please color something pretty. This is Christine. Talk to you later.